Welcome to PowerPatent, the revolutionary tool redefining efficiency for patent practitioners. And here is patent attorney Tran showing you how you can create a high-quality first draft patent application in a few minutes.
You can proceed using the conventional flow like background and summary and detailed description. But most lawyers, they typically like to start with the claims. And so in your case, since you specialize in gaming software, I'm going to copy from a issue patent. So as you can see here, this thing really has an apparatus claim and a method claim. And so that's the claim. We can preview the claim tree if you want to verify and validate. So here you have a system claim, and you have a method claim, and then you have a read computer claim. This is all that, right? And then you'll see later how you can edit the claim. But if you don't like the claim the way it is, you can go backward and you can edit them and redo this process. And so that's the way to, but we are assuming that when you paste them in, you as a lawyer already have a nice set of claims that you want. So all you do is you paste them in, you click on draft the invention. It will generate roughly 25 to 30 pages of text based on the claims alone. And then after it's done, we'll paste through it, and then we're going to add diagrams, and then we can generate additional text based on the diagram. So that's kind of the process. And then we have diagnostic that will then run on the text to make sure that the claims are, satisfy the 112 issues and also, support issues. So here, based on the claim, it automatically picks out the title for you. You can put in a client name, in this case, aristocrat, and maybe matter 001. You can put in any tag you want, maybe gaming. So you can see here, it automatically generates a background for you. You can ask it to generate more by clicking the autofill, but I think, the background isn't all that critical. The summary, again, based on the claim, it will generate the summary for you. And then you can also ask it to suggest advantages of the invention for you. Okay. Abstract, typically we just recycle the summary. So we restate the summary as the abstract. So you'll see some slight differentiation from the abstract from the first paragraph of the summary, but it's essentially a restatement of the summary. Okay. Then when you click on next, we'll ask you to add the image, the figures, and because most patents do require figures. So you certainly can add an image, and I'm just going to randomly pick maybe this as a real patent image. And then you can also add a flowchart from the claim. So in the claims, we normally will pick a method claim, right? So, and you can edit the parameters of it, the size and the stepping. So right now it's stepping out at 1100, and you can change that. You can say the node is, that's the font size. Is it? Let me see.
I think the next one is a node. It says node step prefix and node step.
Yeah. So you can start it at 400 and then step by 2 or by 4 if you want. Okay. And you'll see it here, it's reflected here, right?
Oh yeah, that's very helpful. I like that. It's very nice.
Yeah, you can edit them. So instead of, if you don't like registering, you can change it to register.
That doesn't change the claim, right? The claim is unchanged.
It just copies the method claim as that and convert that into flowchart.
Okay, but your claim is not
add a custom right here. So you can add whatever flowcharts you like, right? And so that's an illustration of the flowchart process. So now we got figure 1 and figure 2, and let's say submit. Okay, so figure 1, you notice here that we need to fill in the description of a gaming hardware, let's say. And this is a gaming process. And let's look at the text that it generated, roughly around 73 paragraphs. Wow, that's a lot. So. But anyway, so illustrating the part list. So we just arbitrarily use a thing here, but what you can do is you can say, let's say this is figure 1. So let's say 110, I don't know, roulette table. And 120, I don't know, spinning wheel. 130 of a dice, let's say. Okay. So now that you've annotated this figure, you can generate a text associated with the annotation. And this is how you do that. You pick a spot where you want. you want that text to be generated. So here, let's say we're going to auto text, and we're going to auto text figure 1, right? So it's generating text based on your part list. Huh? Okay, so it looks pretty decent. So I'll insert it. So there it is. So the dice is there.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, now it's there.
So you notice it auto numbers for you. Yeah, basically. So that looks pretty decent. So then what we do is we select a boilerplate. You can select your own boilerplate, or use your own text, or just you can just pick any of the default boilerplate. Let's go to the more interesting part of the claims. In the claims, you can edit them, and it will check, for antecedent basis support. So for example, the claims is the roulette game. It should be a roulette game. D, competition. It should be A. So wow, so this is actually the claims from the issue patent, and it has antecedent.
They weren't always the best about that kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting. So you can drag and drop, and you can add child. So for example, here I can drag this to here, and now that it renumbers, right? So you can play with it. It's graphical claim drafting. Then the next interesting part is the diagnostic. So everything looks to be consistent. The part list, here it is. The noun phrases that are detected from the text that's generated. So I think we're gonna, segregate this into noun phrases that are not in the claim to indicate unclaimed subject matter, and we're gonna show that in a different color. And then it will check for means plus function and things like that. And for software, when you check on a software tag, it will also automatically insert in computer performance enhancement text into there.
Okay.
The
it does all of 112. So when you say US 112, it does for 112A, B, and F for your US code. This does it look for all kinds of 112 issues?
Well, I'll tell you what it looks for. It looks for support in the claim, antecedent basis issue. It'll look for means plus function and functional claiming language, because
so all of it. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll look for it'll detect all occurrences of means, and all references to that mean. So it'll show all the structures of the mean. Okay. You can share this with after you're done, you can share this with your inventors for review. And so that's why we have the ADS and IDS, so they can download and upload it for you. That's really not difficult. And so the way you share that is up here. You can edit the collaborator list. You can add collaborator into it. So you can have your inventors review it after you're done. And before you have them share them, you may want to save you may want to save your version so you can revert in case you screw it up. Okay. You can also do an interactive text. So for example, you can just say, describe a casino gaming environment, gaming network architecture, let's say. Okay, it will generate that, and you can paste that in, and you can see that generated right now. So you can interactively play with that. The way some users have done is so you can copy it and then go back in the description, and then you can just insert them in.
That is really clever. I like that. That's very clever. Oh,
yeah.
That makes instead of doing it yourself, you can have that done for you.
Exactly. That's the idea, making life easy. Finally, you can review it, and you can edit them, but it'll show, let me see, the claims, the figures, the text. You can edit them, but so that's kind of the final review. And after, and I forgot the diagnostic feature. There is a mode where if you've used, it will run some diagnostics for you. So here we got, figures, some reference lists. You got claim tree. You got noun phrases that apparently hadn't been claimed, and then the rest of the text. And some of this text here, is meant for inventors to review. So it may be the section here may be, too elementary for a patent lawyer, but so it'll basically enable somebody an inventor, when they review it, they can run a diagnostic also and fix that before it gets back to you. And let me see what else. So that's great. And then you can of course export as a Word, and when you export it, it will ask you if you want to delete after you've exported. And so you can always delete it and then re-upload them. So here, this is how you see it. It's generated. It's formatted so that you can use the Patent Center to upload this directly. It's compatible. And let's see how many pages it's generated. It's roughly about 40 pages. And so, yeah, if I were explaining this to you, you could do this in about a matter of 5 to 10 minutes.
That is very interesting. Wow, I like this. And do you have to be connected to the internet or anything like that to do this, or like so you can get the definitions? Like, remember you had the casino gaming environment. You have to be connected to Chat GPT, or
Yeah.
as long as I'm okay.
Well, it's not ChatGPT. GPT is a free system, so therefore you have confidentiality issues. It's an
Okay.
API. So we have an API with a terms and conditions with OpenAI, and
Okay.
we hear they indicate that in the information being used is not going to be fed back to the computer for
Okay.
i.e. it's confidential. It's your information.
Okay.
We do use OpenAI as our back end, but on the front end we have a lot of patent-specific structure, diagnostics, and things like that. And so, by the way, if you have a particular template that you want to use, you can certainly use that with our system. All you do is you upload the template as the Word document, and then your template then is the starting point from which everything else is inserted into it. So that's the way. Let's say a lot of people have a template for a computer invention. They have a figure one with a computer ROM RAM CPU, right? And then a standard description of a standard computer as your template for a software invention. You would take that template, upload them up, and everything else it would fill into that template, and then you download it again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we can deal with template procedure. We are working in the few, we're still working on it. So here, you can delete it if you want, right? But here you will see that we don't talk much about it, but we have internal docketing capability where we can import direct connection into the patent office. So, so it brings the information from the old private pair, but now it's called Patent Center, into here. And you can bring it up. You can see the image file wrapper. And you can see where all your dates are. And the reason why I discussed this is not so much to try to sell the docketing system. That's not our intent. Our intent is we are going to download the rejection, the XML file of the rejection, and automatically parse it out and generate potential response for you. And we'll go, ideally, our goal is to do more than just the usual restatement of the rejection and then just give you a template. That's it. We are actually going to go in there and map one by one the examiner's rejection against the art, and then bring all that in. And we're able to do that. However, the system isn't quite smart enough to replace a lawyer yet. So what we're thinking of is, before you start the process, you would have the lawyers give it a hint. Just to say, you'll say, claim one differs from the prior art because of X, Y, and Z, and they'll take that and they'll generate it out. So that's kind of our current approach, is as a collaborator, because the AI isn't smart enough to replace the lawyer yet in responding to a rejection.
Oh, that's very interesting. I mean, I was wondering about if you, I mean, do you work with Fish and Richardson, I'm assuming, and some other law firms? Would you work with the freelancer on this? If I freelance or were to get a job at another company, would you be willing to work with me, or maybe like
Oh,
have?
absolutely.
Yeah.
We have initiatives right now with biotech companies, because that's an area that it's very challenging. So yeah, if you're interested, you certainly can become part of our the alpha group, where we'll give you early access to some of our early technology, which may not be quite polished enough for commercial,
Sure.
but it's very advanced. And so things like automated office action response is something that we are working on, and it's going to be, I think the next logical step, right? Because the trend has been that the patent application is kind of restricted to around $7,000 to $8,000, which gives the lawyers really a fixed amount of time to work on it. And so the AI can fill it in can help make you more productive that way. But I think your real money maker is in responding to office action rejection, because that's something that the inventors really could not.
No, they can't do that. No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's where the money is, and so that's why we're focusing our attention more on that, a lot of it on that, because that's where it's gonna provide a lot of productivity enhancement to the patent community. And so that's pretty much where we are.
Wow. This is so exciting. Have you heard of a company called Cypher AI?
No, I have not.
They're a British company, and they use AI, and they do certain things that are somewhat similar to you. Like they use their AI to help develop an abstract. They look at claims, and they kind of are summaries of an application. And then they use that summary to find similarity indexes to find other art that's other patent application that are similar in terms of technology area.
I see.
Yeah,
So
classification.
how do you rank us relative to that company?
I like yours more. I think yours is a little bit more. I think you're actually developing the abstract, and I can actually see the abstract. You can't see their abstract. You can only see it develops an abstract. It's confidential. It's inherent to the Cipher AI, but then it comes out with the result. It'll compare it to other patents. It'll say, oh, this application is 30% similar or 40% similar. It gives you some sort of score, but you actually have an abstract that you generate.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder, is that a search company, or what?
They do searching. Your scope is a little different. I would say you're actually drafting applications,
Oh,
and
well, we haven't shown you the search capability. Let's search in here. We don't charge for that, but well, I guess I deleted your original sample case. So let's take a look at the mechanical case. In the claim,
mhm.
so you see here, there's a search icon. Now,
Yeah.
it's a controversy with attorneys and companies. Some people don't really want to see a search, but if you do want to see a search,
Mhm.
it will map you line by line to the claim to the search. But we sell that more as a benefit. We provide it for free. We don't charge for it because our search is limited to the USPTO data sources, and we're not global. We don't deal with the non NPL basically. But you can see here it's mapping. It's mapping specifically into it.
No,
And
that's
so
great.
because we copy from this patent, of course it's going to be a direct match. So that's why. So it's a good thing that it found its own.
Yeah, right. Good. Yeah, that's a good starting point.
Yeah. So yes, we do have we don't call it a prior art search, we call it relevant search. But that's something that's useful for, let's say, if you in let's say in your role at Aristocrat, if you have an inventor who comes up with an idea, you can help craft the claim, and then you can just send it back to the guy, and then let him look at it, and then let him look at the prior art also. Do a search.
Mhm.
And then collaboratively you can then refine it to improve the claim. And so this tool can be used by I typically find most inventors, they are you're gonna in a big company you're gonna have, like, let's say 5 or 10 key guys that are repetitive
Mhm.
inventors, right? Those guys are very sophisticated, and they can take this tool like this, and they can give you an invention disclosure that's almost non-provisional quality. And if you give them the tool to do the art search, and they can tweak the claim a little bit, you can even get an invention disclosure that's practically a provisional ready filing. So that's
Mhm.
our intended use inside of a big company, is to have this tool proliferate to your inventors. They can use it, they can paste in their claims, and then they can do a quick look at this, and then they ship it to you as a lawyer to review. So you basically, have a better life. They do all the
Yeah,
work for you.
right. Yeah, no, I like this. This is very clever, and I really like this. And I don't know, are you looking for any help or anything like that, or any patent agents or anyone? Because I want to be able to use this all the time. This is
Yeah,
very.
yeah, 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 it's $4.99 a month. So if you use it once a month, you've more than recover your money, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, we can certainly set it up for you if this is something you like.
Okay. 'Cause I am working with somebody right now, and maybe I would like to have I would like to maybe have him on the conversation as well, and
Sure.
maybe we can go from there. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would love to. This is a very I like this, and so I worked in the food area a lot, and in the food area, I think something like this is very helpful. I think something, especially because like prosecution is very tricky in it. A lot of sometimes the terminology is used interchangeably. The art units are known to be very difficult. It's not as hard as a 3600 art unit, but it's still a very difficult art unit to get things allowed. And I think a lot of the stuff in the food industry, a lot of it goes between trade secret and patent application. So I think this is a way of also generating invention disclosure forms.